And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. Come on, let's get there. Hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share, because the stupidity, the nonsense, it's not going to stop until we make it stop. So look, today it was announced that Barry Weiss will take over as editor-in-chief of CBS News. Now, let me be clear. Weiss, who built her reputation through her independent media platform, the Free Press, represents a new wave of journalists reshaping how news is delivered. Her appointment, it marks a major shift for traditional outlets as they try to adopt, to an era where independent voices are actually the ones who are setting the agenda. And yet still, it raises questions, a lot of questions, about how legacy institutions like 60 Minutes or so will ultimately navigate this growing political pressure from the White House. On my Mea Culpa podcast, I speak with veteran reporter Brian Karem about what it's like to challenge those in power, as well as to face the full weight of an administration's pushback. Play the clip.
Well, I thought you were going to ask me, considering today, do I drink a lot more? But that's it.
By the way, you drank a lot back then anyway.
Yeah, I'm telling you, tough room. So does it make it? It's worse now because there were roadblocks that would slow it down. Today, Donald Trump doesn't give a damn what the law is. He's going to do what he wants to do, and he's got people in place that will allow him to do it. The pushback is minor. Let's take a look at Pam Bondi, for example. And boy, don't you just like to take a look at what she did? She was investigating Donald Trump for income tax evasion for his university in Florida as the attorney general in Florida. She was going to indict him in Florida. He deposited $25,000 in her bank account so she could run for office. And magically, she decided not to prosecute Donald Trump. So Pam Bondi is not just a whore, which she is very much, Donald Trump's whore. She's a cheap whore. He got her for $25,000. That's it. That's all she is she's a
Ryan, 5,000 of that $25,000 was mine. You know that? $5,000. $5,000 of that was.
That's even better. That's a better story. Holy shit. That cheap bastard wouldn't even give her 25.
Well, he can't, because it would have been over the limit. So
yeah,
what he did is he went to his executives and he said, I need a check for $5,000.
And there you go. Rock and roll picture show. Pam Bondi is a cheap whore subsidized by everybody. But today, the fact of the matter is she's there. Kash Patel's there. Tom Homan is around. Robert F. Kennedy, I got a worm in my head. You know, that guy, he's around. None of these people are going to tell him no, because they have their own agenda they're pursuing. And Donald Trump facilitates their ability to do that. So they have their tongue firmly deep inside his anal cavity, slurping out whatever they can so that they can spit it out. They're the tail end of the human centipede. And so at the end of the day, it's much faster than it was then. And it's much more dire than it was then. And the end results are much more fatalistic for the United States now than then. People say we're in a constitutional crisis. And I tell them, no, we're not. That's in the rearview mirror. They say we're facing fascism. No, we're not. That's in the rearview mirror. The Constitution doesn't exist. The very the thing that you said, the very poignant thing that you said when I started putting together this documentary is, what if for a few months down the road, what if Donald Trump is successful? Then he will have supplanted the Constitution. And that's exactly what he's done. That's exactly what he's done. The Constitution matters not to him, and therefore it doesn't matter to the people that work for him, and therefore we're all suffering because of it. And that is the end result of us reelecting Donald Trump and putting his fat, flaccid ass back in office. And, I'm to the point now where if I don't laugh at it every day, I'd end up crying because it's so damn bad. And it's only going to get worse. There's a great thing that his niece said, Mary Trump. And I remember these words. She goes, Brian, there is no worst with Donald Trump. Every day is worse. And that's the truth. And then I remember something you told me. We were talking about his kids one time, and you said, Brian, I remember both of those boys came to me and said, I don't want to end up like my dad. And they have. Everything he touches, he destroys. He will burn it all down, everything, to rule over the ashes. That's what we're facing. And this isn't hyperbole. These are facts. These are based on what he's doing today. For example, what did he say at the United Nations? How do you win friends and influence people? What's his hallmark of diplomacy? Telling them all they're going to go to hell and we're the hottest country on the planet? Maybe we're hot because not for any economic reasons, but because we're standing next to the fire of hell. I know a guy, one of the people who was one of the diplomats in New York he said, we're all going to hell. He goes, I don't have any desire to go to Washington, D.C. So, I mean, that's the way the rest of the world views us.
I want my listeners to understand Brian Karem's been in this game for a very long time. White House correspondent, I think it was for Playboy magazine, and for other magazines and newspapers as well. But here's the interesting thing. I'm sorry?
And television. That's it.
And television, yes. Yeah. But by the way, nothing for nothing. You have a face for radio and for print. So let me say this, right? Because you are in a very unique group of journalists who had their credentials taken away from the White House because your writing angered the president.
Yeah.
With that in mind, I want to ask you this. When the DOJ or the administration targets journalists, whistleblowers, or political enemies, what's the human cost that people outside the Beltway never see?
Well, that's a good question. There are two of us, me and Jim Acosta, are the ones that face it. First of all, I'd recommend it, if anyone faces Donald Trump, stand up to the bully, much like you did, much like I did. I'm not unique. But the thing is you don't give in to a bully. The human cost of that the human cost either way is the same. But the dividends that you gain by at least standing up is that standing up to the bully puts them in their place. And Donald Trump is not a strong man. He is a weak man, and he is a bully. And at the end of the day, standing up to him and thumping him in the nose is the price you have to pay for being able to look at yourself in the mirror at the end of the day. And so the cost that you will pay is the cost that we're all paying. Going after journalists, he says we're the fake news, we're the enemy of the people. No, pal, we are the people. The people in the press are the people, and you're the enemy of the people. That's the realization that you have to come to. But the cost that you pay, let's see, I had my window of my car bashed in, numerous death threats, threats of course, jail, threats of economic ruin. Everywhere you would go, you had to have your head on a swivel, and you still do to some respects. I play in a rock band, and, so when we would play in the band, I would be told by the local cops and the FBI that, I should be wary. There could be violence in the venues where we played, targeting me. So those are all things that you have to face on it's a very visceral level. It's putting your life out in front of a bunch of damn crazies. And you know that as well as I do.
I actually went to prison, and I have my head on a swivel to the point that I need to go, I think, for neck surgery now. I'm dead serious. Yeah. I fractured a disc in my neck. And then on top of that, the death threats, the swatting, the doxing, they didn't just swat me. They swatted my 90-year-old father and 82-year-old mom.
Oh yeah, they went after my son. They swatted
them.
Yeah, they went after my fucking 25-year-old son. Yeah, and so that, what I can tell you is, and you know this better than I do, you cannot back down. There is no way that you can. The pain, I did not get into this business to be the center of attention. I got in this business to shine light in dark places. I know that politicians are going to try and put their best foot forward. I'm there to try and shine a light on what they're doing and let the world know, providing information. Everybody says we're in the truth business, and we're not. We're in the fact business. Our job is to provide you facts, and you decide what the truth is from those facts. But we all have to agree on the facts. Donald Trump has destroyed that. And that is When you don't know what facts are anymore, you allow the grifter and the con man into your life in a manner that is completely impossible if we all understand what the facts are. And that's what Donald Trump has done, is destroyed reality to the point where people don't even know what the hell facts are anymore. And if
they question everything.
The only thing unquestionable about Donald Trump is the day he was born. Otherwise, you look it up and there's every fact about him is in dispute now. And who does that benefit? Him. It doesn't benefit us. And you're right. I do more fact checking now than I've ever done on things I already know to be facts, things that I have witnessed myself, just to make sure. And then I have to double check that again, because there are alternative facts. Thank you, Kellyanne Conway, for that wonderful term, you moron. That term that we have to deal with every day. Alternative facts. You've got your facts, I've got mine. No, bullshit. There's one set of facts. And that's
let me ask you this. That's true. That's true. There is only one there's only one truth. There's only one fact. Did you ever witness the DOJ insiders wrestle when you were doing the research on revenge with loyalty to the law versus loyalty to Trump? And I would suspect, knowing you as well as I do, I imagine you had to ask them, how do you justify it to yourself?
Oh, that's a question I ask them every day. And most of the people that I ask that of are no longer there. The fact of the matter is, and there are people that are holding on for dear. I know someone that's been at the DOJ for 30 plus years. And I said, why are you still there? And he goes, the same reason that you're still doing what you're doing, because I have to hold on to the institutional knowledge so that when we get through this, Donald Trump, that we're able to reinstall what we're supposed to do and what we're supposed to be. And I get that. I agree with that. I wholeheartedly endorse that, because there has to be someone left, because we live in a time, Michael, the biggest problem I have, we're talking about facts and stuff. The biggest problem I have is that on the internet, in social media, the anonymity of social media, everyone can come across as an expert. Everyone's opinion is equally discussed. And while everyone is entitled to an opinion, not every opinion has equal weight. And so if the doctor comes on and tells me you need a vaccine, I'm going to listen to him before RFK, who has no doctorate, tells me I need a vaccine. On the internet,
he's had Thanksgiving dinner with family members that are doctors.
Yeah, so that makes it.
What makes him an expert?
Yeah, he watched a YouTube video once. I go, no, that was a porno. Stop that. That's not the vaccine we're talking about, pal. So he have that. But then on the internet, people will type, you see them too, and they go after you. You're an asshole, this, and this is what really happened. And they act as if their opinion is fact. And the fact is that a lot of times these are people that haven't gotten their asses out of their parents' basement. The person with 30, 40 years of experience, I will listen to them before I listen to some idiot who either A, just got out of school, or B, doesn't know what they're talking about, or C, is a bot. And that's one of the bigger problems that we have. You see that as well. The big problem is that institutional knowledge is lacking. So in the DOJ, those who were staying, back to your original question, those guys that are staying and are fighting it, I tip my hat to them, because there are a lot of them that have left, and the people that are there now, a lot of them owe their allegiance to Don first, Don always, Don ultimatum, Don ultimately everything. So that's the scary part.
Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. We're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.